Hey guys, this is Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com, and today we're going to talk about some places to eat out that will help you stay on track. Now, I am a shell of my former size compared to about 5 years ago, where I was weighing close to 315, as you can see in this picture. But now I'm about 260, way healthier, still within that range, strong, and I had to figure out where I could eat to stay on track with my vertical diet that I've been using from Staying Efforting. Now, initially when I was dieting, I was utilizing a lot of principles from Charles Poliquin that really helped me gain a lot of control. Beating up breakfast, no carbohydrates, trimming down. That got me down to about 275, but I lost a lot of strength in that time. I started talking to Staying Efforting because he was one of the most cut and strongest person that I've ever met, still is today, and was breaking world records with a fucking 8-pack back in like 2010. And I'm like, man, I'd love to be as strong as he is because I was about that strength level, but I want to be that lean. And so obviously I'm still not there yet. I'm still working on it. It's been a long process for me, but I'm going to tell you guys some places that I've eaten that's helped me stay on track with vertical dieting and allows me to make better decisions no matter what kind of diet I want to be on. So the first thing that makes me decide to give you guys this information is it readily available? Because there might be a place that I can go out and eat here in town, which I'll say House of Japan. House of Japan is a hibachi steakhouse here in town. They're awesome. I can get filet and rice. I can have it cooked the way I want it cooked right in front of me because it's hibachi. And it stays completely on my diet, and it's a little bit of a different flavor than how I can make it at home. Don't ask me how they make it better than I can after practicing for 5 years, but the guys are experts. So House of Japan here in town is one of my favorite restaurants. Here's the problem. It's not readily available everywhere. So I'm going to give you guys some restaurants that I think you guys could go eat at. It's in pretty much every town that I've ever been at, and I've been to almost everywhere in the country and a lot of places in the world. So number one is going to be Longhorn Steakhouse. Longhorn Steakhouse is not the highest level steakhouse in the country by any means, but they do have quality beef and they do have pretty clean sides. So how do we order this? Well, depending on what your goals are, if you're trying to stay big but you don't want to put on a lot of body fat, you might have to go to something like a ribeye, which has more fat, more calories. If you're trying to lean out or you're trying to figure out your diet, sirloin is usually your best bet, or filet. Now, for most people, you don't need anything more than 6 or 8 ounces at a time. That's about the amount of protein you're going to be able to absorb. But here's the trick, and it has to do with a lot of these restaurants that you can control. When I order stuff at Longhorn, I have them cook it with no oil and no seasoning. Now, that can make it a little bit more bland, but what you'll start finding is as you eat cleaner, cooking oils are going to be the devil, and not just because they're bad for you and create inflammation. It will literally give you diarrhea every time you eat them. So you're not going to absorb anything you eat. So Longhorn is great for that. Usually I'll do a sweet potato or a baked potato, very marginal butter, and I'll do a filet or a sirloin. That's a great choice, and you can use that at any steakhouse, but Longhorn is my choice on that. The next one that's exploded in the last 10 years is Chipotle. Chipotle, although maybe put a couple things in the rice that may not be perfect and their cooking standards may not be awesome, their meat quality is pretty good. I think they do a lot of their importing for their beef and cattle and chicken because it actually meets better standards overseas in some places. I want to say Australia or New Zealand, I can't remember. But Chipotle is another way to eat out that can be a little bit more diet friendly as long as you don't go berserk on sour cream and tons of cheese and lots of different kinds of salsa that could upset your stomach. So the point is, it's another place you can go get rice and beef and chicken or whatever you want to do, and it's pretty damn clean for being fast food, and it's affordable for everyone. So I would put Chipotle at one of those top lists as well when you're traveling, instead of stopping at a McDonald's or a Taco Bell. And I'm talking to the younger guys, maybe even some of the older guys that say working. Trust me, I've seen what people eat that work at car dealerships, and fire departments, and all this other shit. Chipotle is pretty readily available, and it's a lot healthier than those other places. So we've kind of talked about what my favorite restaurant here is in town, which is House of Japan. You can go to any hibachi steakhouse and within reason order something pretty healthy. Again, what you want to tell them to do is cook it with no oil, maybe a little bit of light butter and a little bit of soy sauce. Now, some of the research I've done on soy sauce, soy is not really that great for you, but because it's fermented in the sauce, it doesn't have as much estrogenic side effects. So soy sauce used in moderation is not nearly as bad as, say, eating pure soy products. So don't get You know, I know a lot of people go, oh, you shouldn't eat soy and blah, blah, blah. Soy sauce, because it has to be processed, actually doesn't have some of those chemicals in it, or it's much lower. So a little soy sauce and butter and no oil is the way you order hibachi. The next thing you do is you get steamed rice instead of fried rice. You're reducing the butter, you're reducing a lot of the cooking oils, all the other things that actually make things taste really, really good. So how do I get by eating my plain rice and steak in a hibachi house? Well, a lot of places serve ginger sauce. Now, ginger sauce may have some carbs in it, but it's not going to be nearly as bad for you as ordering the fried rice. So what I do is I take a little bit of ginger sauce and just sprinkle it on top of my rice, and I eat it that way. Or sometimes, if the hibachi place is really good, you can use the salad dressing. Sometimes when you put the salad dressing in an hibachi place on the rice, it gives it a completely different flavor and makes it nearly impossible not to eat, especially at House of Japan. So if you're here in Columbus or Midwest, go up to Blazer, tell them Matt Wenning sent you, and go eat hibachi at House of Japan. Because as I said, that's the way I do. I mean, you can find a hibachi steakhouse at nearly any particular city that you can find. So Chipotle, Longhorn, and hibachi. Those are my 3 faves to go and eat. Those are the best way I think you can kind of stay on track. If you got to do it fast, go to Chipotle. If you can sit down for 45 minutes, go to hibachi or go to Longhorn, and you can find those in pretty much any town. And this is how it's helped me keep my size while also cutting down and getting healthier after retiring from pro powerlifting. So talk to you guys later, and if you guys need any more help, go on wenningstrength.com and look at the things that we have to offer to guide you through training.